get your water, your favorite energy drink, because we're about to dive into one of my favorite subjects: see it, say it, and solve it. So, as we're preparing to embrace the great with all Solutions Stylers sale for November and December, we will have it $13.99 in the US and $17.99 in Canada. I'm going to ask you a question right out the gate. How many products do you think the average man versus the average woman in North America uses on a weekly basis? Tell me in the chat. I want to know your answers right now. What do you think they use on a weekly basis? So, Sharon, tell me, what are you seeing in that chat?
So I am seeing a lot of people out here and they're doing great.
Yeah. So, it's interesting to think that our stylists sometimes underestimate how many products our customers are using at home. And on average, a man uses 4 to 6 products on a weekly basis. And that's just an average. And then our women, they use an average of 6 to 10 products on a weekly basis. But that doesn't mean that those products are professional grade. In fact, our customers most of the time underutilize professional grade products. And that's where we come in as the expert. So I'd like to share with you a process or a philosophy called see it, say it, and solve it that you can use every single day behind the chair. The first step is to see it. We want to observe our guests' characteristics. This is their trait, diameter, density, and the condition of their hair. That seeing is something that we as stylists and barbers have unique gifts for. Did you know that the average stylist or barber recognizes that there's something going on with the hair or scalp in under a minute? And that's where your expertise becomes so important. So we've seen it. The next step is to say it. We have to call it out in the consultation. The consultation is the make or break for the retail game, period. You've got to call it out in that consultation. So we can actually claim our expertise at this point and say to our guest, have you noticed? And state exactly what you're seeing going on with the hair or scalp. Don't dance around it. Be honest with your customer, because that's how we move to the next step of solve it. So solve it is where we recommend with confidence. This isn't just recommending 3 products or even 27 products. This is about recommending the right products for this customer sitting in our chair in this moment. So I want to ask you a question. How many of you are guilty of actually seeing something but not saying it? Don't worry, we've all been there. I have done it myself, not saying something. But we have to get out of our comfort zone and we have to step into our expertise and be confident to see the problems, say the problems, and solve those problems with confidence. And you can do that with the house of products. And today, with the Solutions Stylers and our Latitude products, we're going to step into the structure area of our house and the finishing area of our house to show you how we can create some great looks based on the trait, diameter, density, and condition of our customer's hair. So like I told you, it all starts in that consultation. So we want to look at their hair traits. We want to look at the density of their hair. We want to look at the condition of their hair, and we want to look at the diameter as well, because that will guide our recommendations to provide those professional recommendations to get them the style or the look that they want. And then you need to listen to your customer's lifestyle. You don't want to recommend this huge regimen if they're only going to spend 5 to 10 minutes on their hair every single day, or if they're a wash and go. So once you know the hair traits and then you know the lifestyle, you can match those together and boom, you have really mastered giving that recommendation that's perfect for that individual person. So let's talk about trait diameter, density, and condition. Our first guest today is Bryn, and as you can tell, we're going to talk about trait. And what do you think her trait is? Can you tell me in the comments what that trait is? That trait is curl, and curly hair is so thirsty, you guys. It needs moisture. So we really want to make sure that the products that we're prescribing for this curly hair are going to provide the moisture that hair is seeking in order to create a consistent curl pattern. So we want to hydrate, and the way that we've done this is we, of course, started with a great foundation, and then we move into our two structure products here. And these two we used and we made a cocktail together. So this is our Solutions Curl Hydra Souffle, which is a gel-like consistency, but it doesn't create crunch in the hair, which is really nice. And then we paired it with our curl taming cream. So equal parts of this. Then when we scrunched it into the hair, I didn't just scrunch it all over. I actually sectioned her hair out and worked those two products together, emulsified them together, and then worked them in from roots all the way down to the ends, and then encouraged any areas that were struggling with the scrunching motion. And what that does overall is it helps the curl to wake up, it hydrates those drier areas, and ensures that there's a more consistent curl pattern throughout the entire hair shape. So you can see how beautiful her curl is and how consistent it is all the way from the base down to the ends. And this is just a magical concoction. So definitely share that with your guests and make them feel comfortable with using that at home. Now, what we're going to do to finish this off and really lock this curl in and give it some additional texture is use our brand new texture spray. And this is a very special product, and I'm so happy that we have it available. This is made with sea salt, but what sets it apart from all of the other products out there that are texture sprays is that it has kelp extracts in it. And that kelp extract acts as a moisturizer. So this is one of the reasons why curly hair loves this product, is because it's going to give it the moisture, but also help to create that texture at the same time, again, without that crunch. So I'm going to just lightly spray this all over her hair. And what that's going to do for her is it's going to enhance her curl pattern, any areas that we need some additional texture. And as we spray it, we want to pay attention that we're coating the hair evenly throughout, and then just lightly scrunch it into the hair. If someone tends to have a lot of frizz, I tend to use the back of my hand because there's less oils. Oils tend to cause a lot of frizz and friction. You can also use like the smooth side, the non-teeth side of a comb, and then that would also help to push that product in without disrupting the curl itself. So again, just lightly pushing that into the curls, and you can immediately see how this creates the curl and wakes it up, gives it some life. And I would even say this is a great thing that you can apply on second day to revive curls and get them looking great without having to resaturate with water, which dilutes product down, and gives the hair some new life on those second day. So it enhances everything that we've done with our structure product and now our finishing product of our texture spray to really even out her curl pattern. Isn't that just beautiful? I just love this product. It's so soft and it really does exactly what it says it's going to do. So, with that, if you are a curly girl, I want you to drop a heart in the comments. Let us know if you've tried this out. Tell us your experience with it. I know we've had some wonderful testimonies out on social from our West Coast family, and definitely we are loving this product. So, now that we have styled Bryn, we're going to move to our next guest.
One quick question for you, Tiffany.
Yes, Sharon.
Does this product make the hair dull?
It does not. It actually makes a beautiful shine on the hair, which I absolutely love that because curly hair, dry hair tends to look more dull. And what this has done is it's actually enhanced the life of the hair through that natural shine. It's not a high shine, but it is a natural, beautiful shine. It just looks like naturally shiny hair. It's absolutely stunning. Great question.
Thank you.
Awesome. So our next customer is Miss Kim, and Miss Kim has shared with us in our See It, Say It, Solve It that her main concern is density. She does have very low density, and this is where we can solve with product because we know that no matter how we cut, density is something that is solved with the products that we apply to her hair. So as I did my initial cut on her, I did try to create more of that density through building up weight in the hair. But also, we want to consider that when we styled her, we use, first of all, our prep product of the quick dry pre-styler to help us remove moisture and add shine and create manageability. But the rock star here is actually our volumizing foam. This product is so underrated. How many times have you heard someone say, I don't like the way product feels in my hair? Anybody out there? Like that is something that is so real behind the chair. And this product is absolutely amazing because it feels like there's nothing in the hair but does wonders for creating volume. So when we apply something like this is a non-aerosol. So it's really easy to use and apply. And I always start with like a golf ball size amount of product when I use this and see how far it travels through the hair before I add additional product because sometimes less is more when it comes to those ultra fine strands. And we want to be conscious of what this is doing in the hair as we are applying it. And you really want to spread it out in your hands, almost like lotion. I even put it on the backs of my hands when I get ready to apply this into the hair. And then I work it in from the roots all the way down to the ends. And then, of course, because this is a volumizing product, it needs a little heat in order to really get the volume that our customer is looking for. Now, one of the things that we often forget about finer hair types is that it has a tendency to break. And so when we move into using a heat tool on her hair during that finishing styling process, I want to make sure that I'm protecting her hair with our thermal protection spray. This protects up to 450 degrees. It's very lightweight. So no matter what the texture of the hair is or the density of the hair, this is not going to weigh the hair down. Now, what I do want to share with you about this is that when we use this, I'm not right on top of the hair strand. I'm actually further away to more evenly distribute this product from the areas that I'm going to be applying heat. And I think it's important to realize that this is an ultra fine mist. And as I use it, I'm applying it section by section. Now, could you actually go through and apply this all throughout the hair? Of course you could, but you're going to maintain more control if you're applying it section by section because you're able to make sure that it's evenly coated on the section that you are about to apply that heat to. So that makes a huge difference in the overall look of the hair at the end. So at this point, what I want to do is I want to pick up a product that is going to show off all of this layering that I have put into her hair. And this is Designing Taffy. And Designing Taffy is a fun product. It gives you a ton of shine, which is pretty amazing. And I'm having struggles here. But when you use this product, it definitely, well, maybe. It definitely gives you a lot of shine and it will help you to define out the look overall. And since I'm having issues, I'm going to switch it up. Sometimes that happens behind the chair. We got to switch it up and change from one thing to the other. And that's just the beauty of knowing your products, of what you can switch out when things don't go how they're supposed to. So I'm switching over to our tea tree paste instead, which is a similar texture, but I'm going to use less of it than I would use of that designing taffy. And I'm going to work this through my hands. And what I'm going to do is actually follow the shape of what I have put into her hair already with the heat tool. So I went kind of this way and that way. And you guys, this bottleneck bob, which by the way, Sharon's the one who coined the name of this. I had to go look it up because I hadn't heard it called that yet. But this bottleneck bob really, really helps people with that finer density to really show off layers while maintaining some length. But look at how that really just changed overall how she looks. It really shows off the layers. It makes it look more polished and put together. And then, of course, here on the top, we often see people who have flyaways here when there's especially new growth. So I'm just going to lay a little bit of that down here. And that is our overall look with Miss Kim. So she looks great. We love that. So now that we've talked about trait and density, let's move on to diameter. Sharon, are we doing okay out there?
We sure are. We've just got people just commenting and saying, so here I got a question from Buddy Miller just now. What would be a big deciding factor between the two products besides tea tree?
Which two products? Let me
Well,
ask.
I'm going to say you picked up designing taffy, and then
Mm-hmm.
the other bottle that you picked up was, I know you picked up pliable putty, and you put that down right away because, of
Yes.
course, I'm gonna assume it's because it's too heavy for baby fine hair, right?
It's too heavy for baby fine hair. And the other thing about it is that pliable putty is a little bit more like you need some moisture to work with it, and because I was working on dry hair, I felt like in that moment that that's probably not the best thing that's going to give me what I want. And most of the time women are looking for shine in their hair, where pliable putty is more of a matte finish. And don't get me wrong, you could definitely have a customer that says they want more of a natural to matte finish, but I'm looking for polish, and so I went for paste because that's probably the closest sister, if you will, to our designing taffy. Does that make sense? Answer your question?
It did.
Awesome. Awesome. So at this point, we're going to move into diameter. And this is Jake. And Jake's rocking those medium to coarse hair strands. And so I'm really excited to share with you our brand new product from our Latitude line, which is our matte clay spray. This is control without the grease. And it's perfect for the guy who says, I don't use product until they do. So there's two pro tips here I want to share with you about using this product. First of all, we want to shake it. This is going to make sure that that product inside this bottle is all mixed up and ready to go. And then number two, we really want to make sure we're applying this to almost completely dry or dry hair. So you could do like aggressively towel dried, or dry hair. And the purpose of this product, again, is to create control without the grease. So again, shake, make sure he's dry, and then we're going to apply this. And I want to make sure I'm applying it in the direction that I want the hair to lay. I think that's important. A lot of times we put product in all over the place, and we don't get the result that we're looking for. And in order to get more of the results we're looking for, we want to be conscious about like directionally how we're applying product to make sure that it is going through the hair very well. We're getting the look that we want. We're working with the product instead of against it. And I think that that is a big thing when we do this. Now, before I applied this product into his hair, one of the things that I did was I actually used our Latitude spray gel as a base product or as a structure product. And I think it's important to share that with you because that's how I got this height through here is I put that in and blow dried it up and away so that I could create that lift. And then this product, and I'm going to add some more. So again, this is layerable. I love that about it. And when I turn him, you'll be able to see that lift that he has here in his hair. You'll also be able to see the texture that we're creating. And there's a lot of male customers that are wearing more textured looks these days. We see the llama, the alpaca, the broccoli. We're seeing burst fades with longer tops, almost even like mullet or mohawk shapes that are happening. And those are fun and they're creative, but without product, they just look like a strip of hair running down the head. So we want to make sure that we're teaching our customers to apply this throughout the hair shape. One of my faults as a hairstylist is going to the grocery store and sitting in the checkout line and looking at people's hair. And oftentimes I see lots of product here in the front and no product in the back. So it is our job as the stylist to educate our customers about the application process as we do it. It's a mini demonstration behind the chair with your customers. And guess what? When they see and learn how to do what you're doing, they're more confident. They trust you more as the expert because you're giving them expert advice. You're helping them so that they look great and feel great every single day and not just on salon day. And that means that they are a walking billboard for your business. And that is huge because when someone says, "Hey, I love your hair. Where did you get your hair cut?" "Oh, I got it cut at Great Clips." And that word of mouth is the type of marketing that is invaluable to your business. So having your customers look good every day and showing them how to do that while you're in the chair before you remove the cape is really going to make an impact on your loyalty with your customers returning over and over to your salon
I have a
location.
question for you, Tiffany.
Yeah,
So could you go back to how you prepped his hair?
sure. So our foundation was our Latitude Daily hydrating shampoo. And then I followed up with our leave in conditioner. So that was the foundation products. And then for the structure of his hair, I applied our spray gel while his hair was towel dried, and I blow dried his hair up and away from his face. Um,
That's what they wanted to know. Did you blow dry it?
I
Perfect.
I did blow dry it. Yes, it was a light blow dry. It wasn't like a full. I just used my hands and I just lifted his hair here and pulled it up and held the blow dryer this way and blowed the hair in the direction that I wanted it to lay and sit so that I was creating the structure, but using that product to make sure that it is has the scaffolding, if you will, that creates and holds that shape for the longevity of it. And then finishing, we use our Latitude matte clay spray to really show off the texture and lock this in so that it looks great all day long. Does that sound great?
That was great.
Awesome. So, what can you expect? The with the Latitude matte clay spray, I'm excited to tell you that it's coming in December. We are very excited to bring this in. So you should see some information roll out if you haven't already that this is coming. It will be in the green packaging, and of course, Latitude is growing green, and that's part of us embracing our exclusive brands as well. Okay, so now that we have talked about trait, diameter, density, we're going to move into the condition. And condition is one of those things that oftentimes it's the first thing that we see. We notice when people have split ends, we notice when the hair is dry, or we have that customer. Um, like Miss Bridget here, who comes in once a year for a haircut. And condition tells me everything about the hair's health and the shine. And for Miss Bridget, you'll notice that she has long hair. Let me see if I can reframe here. You can see how long her hair is. It's very, very long. She has minimal layering. And she has medium density in her hair. And her hair strand is also a medium hair strand as well. But one of the things that I immediately notice is that there is some breakage here along her part line, probably from flat ironing her hair quite a bit and blow drying her hair, or maybe it is pulling her hair back or pulling her hair up on the top of her head. A lot of times we see a lot of tension breakage through the front of the hairline because of putting our hair up. And so that condition really tells us and prompts us to ask some questions. So when I talked to Bridget during the consultation, what I found out is that she puts her hair up in a bun all the time. She is a mom, she is on the go, she's got four little ones, and it's just easier in the morning to plop her hair on the head and run out the door. So we need something that's going to be quick and easy for her to use on a daily basis. That's going to help with some of the moisture, give her some shine, but also something that she can just let air dry and it just be naturally beautiful for her hair as well. So there's a couple of things that we can do here. So of course, because of her time frame, one of the things that my mind goes to is our quick dry pre-styler. Because of the manageability of this, it's going to also reduce the dry time. And as we move into the winter, something else we often see with someone who has very more drier strands is a lot of static. And so this is going to create more manageability for her. So when I talk to her about this, one of the things I want to consider is that this hair, when it is long like this, is that these first 3 inches of hair are getting more oils because the scalp naturally produces oils and it's going to travel only about 3 inches from the scalp here. So this area is usually pretty good. And then this area down here, our mid lengths to ends, really needs more moisture, more control, and just more nourishment overall. So the first thing I start with is that foundation, and I talk to her about using our nourishing shampoo and conditioner. And I think that house of products really helps us to have a conversation about full regimens, but understanding which product is going to be the most important to take home today, the one that's going to make the biggest amount of difference for her. So nourishing shampoo and conditioner, and then we'll follow up with our quick dry pre-styler. I love this product. It is amazing. It creates so much less work for the customer at home and for you behind the chair. But I'm really going to focus this and spraying it in a downward motion because again, we're fighting static, we're fighting growth, which is what creates all these little hairs that stick out. And then we're also fighting split ends and different things like that. So I want to spray this in a downward motion and I'm just going to work it through all the way through before I let it air dry or blow dry the hair itself. And then the next thing I'm going to pick up is probably my favorite product in the Solutions line. It does so much. This is our glossing multitask cream. It's absolutely amazing. And I love to put this in the hair all different sorts of ways. The reason why it says multitask is because it does so many things. So I would love to show you that you can put this in her hair prior to blow drying or air drying her hair. And it's going to provide even more moisture for her hair. It's going to smooth down the ends. It's going to help to work through that hair and make it easier. It's going to add polish to that hair and make it nice and shiny. And then, it just makes it easier to work with overall when the hair is wet. Now, once the hair has dried, whether you blow dried it or you have let it just air dry, you can go in with this again. And so that's what I'm going to show you today. And notice I'm only using one pump here. I don't want to overuse this. I can always add more, um, but you can't take away once we've started. So I think it's important to really think about your dosage. Dosage makes a difference. And I think that's something that we often forget about behind the chair because we're in a hurry. There's a lot going on in the salon, there's distractions, but dosage makes a difference at home. And notice when I applied this, when I'm emulsifying it, I put it all through my hands like hand lotion because your hands are multi-surface reaching into this hair. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick up this quadrant and I'm just going to rake it through her hair. And then again, around here on the side, I'm going to pick up the next quadrant and I'm just running my finger for like a rough thing here and focusing on those mid lengths to the ends using all sides of my hands. And you can already see the difference. Can you see how smooth that is? That is absolutely gorgeous. And then we'll move to the next quadrant. So we'll just section that off and pull this all the way through. And immediately all the frizz, all the flyaways, everything just disappears. And there is a very popular product in our Great Clip salons that does very similar. And I always say that this one is the dupe for that one. And if you know, you know. So this product is just absolutely amazing. Now I can tell that I have run out of product when I have gotten to this last area. So I'm going to do a very small amount, like the size of a pea. You can tell that's not very much at all. And I'm going to do the same process. I'm going to emulsify it all through my hands.
Tiffany, can this be used on all hair types?
Oh my gosh. Can it, Sharon? The answer is yes. You can use this on every single hair type. That's where that dosage makes a difference comes in because how much you use on someone who has coarse, thick, highly dense, curly hair is going to vary from someone like Miss Kim who has fine hair and low density. So your dosage, how much you put into the hair is going to determine how that hair looks when you're done applying it. So we're going to use way, 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 way less for finer, lesser dense hair types. And you can use more for those higher density hair types, those coarser hair types. And that makes a huge difference in that finished look. So yes, all hair types can use our multitasking glossing cream. So one last little tip here is I'm going to put on like a little baby amount so you can see how small that is. And I'm going to rub it into my fingertips. And when I rub it into my fingertips, I'm warming it up, getting it to spread as thin as I can get it. And you'll notice she has a lot of flyaways up here. And I'm just going to lightly press this into her hair. And that's going to lay all of that down and make it a lot smoother. And you can instantly see the shine on her hair. It's almost like a halo, how beautiful that shine is and how it creates the smoothness in her hair and gives her more luster to her hair and movement as well. So
We got people who are very excited that they are learning a new term, dosage. Thank you,
dosage,
sharing that.
yes. You think about when you go to a doctor and they give you medication, that your dose is probably different from someone who is smaller than you or younger than you or maybe bigger than you or older than you, right? That dosage determines how your body intakes that and uses that medicine. Your dosage of your application makes a huge difference in the end results of how that hair looks, how it feels, how it becomes manageable, and even your dosage of application is very important. Like we've talked about previously, when we put it in the hair, how much we put into the hair, whether we've air dried or blow dried, or we've used directional blow drying to lift the hair up, or directional blow drying to smooth the hair down, makes a big difference in the final look. You guys, dosage and application is just as important as the product that you pick out. And I think it's important to realize that when you use a product like this and you put it in prior to and then afterwards, that dosage becomes really important, because the last thing we want is for her to look greasy or stringy, or her hair not to look like it's clean and healthy. We want it to look like this is how she looks every single day. And if Bridget is a mom on the go and she wants to comb her hair up and she wants to put it into a ponytail real quick and easy, that product should work to her advantage to keep it nice and smooth, ensuring that she has all she needs to have a beautiful, quick bun that she can literally just toss in her hair, and boom, she has a beautiful smooth bun that she can wear, and then she can let her hair down when she gets home. And because of that product, it will remain nice and smooth, and she can wear her hair for more than one day, which is always a blessing when you're a mom with multiple kids or even just one kid, sometimes dogs. Um, so I want to open the chat up and I want to ask you, what is your toughest retail objection? What are the struggles that you face in the salon? And Sharon and I are going to work together to help you solve some of those issues. And I think it's really important to get some of these questions out there, and really talk about how we can overcome objections that we constantly face in the salons. It's important to have, if you will, some ammunition ready to go when your customer has objections. One of the things I'll tell you that is your best friend in the salon is clip notes. If you are currently not using clip notes for your product recommendations, I encourage you to start today. Those clip notes can be a lifesaver for not just you, but for any stylist in your salon. It is a springboard for the next visit, that next consultation. Definitely makes a huge difference. Imagine being a brand new stylist right out of school. You haven't learned about all of the products that are sitting on that merchandiser, and you don't even know where to begin because you're overwhelmed by the amount of vast product assortment that is available in a Great Clip salon. The thing that can make a huge difference is looking at those clip notes and seeing, okay, last time Miss Bridget came in, they used the multitasking glossing cream. And you can ask her, how did that go for you? Tell me what you like about it. Is there anything that we can help you with? Is there anything that you'd like to change today? It just opens up conversation, allows this customer to voice any of her concerns, and share with us what needs to change or what worked great, or maybe she needs to switch up her shampoo. And think about it seasonally as well. We change as the seasons change. I don't use the same shampoo and conditioner in the summertime as I do in the winter time. It's hot. I live in Texas and it's hot here in the summer. Like, we're just now cooling down to 75. So it has been a very hot summer. I use a lot of clarifying shampoo in the summertime to help remove product buildup, heat, density, oil, all of the things that just kind of build up on your scalp in this hot Texas heat. Whereas in the wintertime, I move to more violet shampoo that we have in our Solutions line. I move into that more moisturizing shampoo and conditioner. And it just makes a huge difference to think about it seasonally. Whereas when we move into spring, again, we do another shift. We take on different things. Our hair reacts differently to the weather that's around us. It's actually exposed to all of the elements. So I think it's really important to think about it seasonally. So Sharon, do we have any objections that popped up in the chat?
Buddy just made a comment, basically that definitely his biggest problem is with his newer stylist and their lack of confidence. on what product is right for them. Can you kind of lead Buddy to some of those
Yeah,
resources?
buddy, thank you for that question. So, first of all, your greatest tool for a new stylist in your salon, in my opinion, is using your quick reference product chart. This was sent to every single salon in the system back in March of this year, and it breaks down products by need. So, it's divided by shampoos and conditioners, your foundation, then your styling products, which is your structure, and then your finishing products for the finishing out those looks and texture. So when you look at that quick reference product chart, let's say you're looking for moisture, it categorizes all of the moisture products together. And then those products are color categorized by brand. So Solutions is green and Latitude is currently blue and different things like that. So you're able to quickly look at this. And I highly recommend that this is a tool that you use during your onboarding or reboarding practices, especially with that new stylist. Because let's say that they went to a school that focused on one brand. Hopefully, they can make some connections with this is what we recommend in our salon for these different needs. So, that's one thing that I would definitely make sure that you're using, and that is our quick reference product chart. It's available on the Resource Center. Um, and it's definitely a great tool. It's under our education tab. And if you need help with that, definitely reach out to your business development manager. They will be happy to help you with that as well, make sure you have that tool in your salon. You might even hang it up in your back bar so that your other stylists can use it as well. The other thing I would consider doing for your brand new stylist, we have a program called 30, 60, 90, and it walks the stylist through 12 weeks, a single activity every single week that helps to develop your stylist confidence in product. It really introduces them to product. It helps lead them to all the tools and resources that are available from Salon Innovations on our website, on YouTube, as well as GCU. And then it nurtures and builds that confidence by teaching them some daily practices that they can do in the salon, something they can implement every single week over the first 12 weeks of employment. And it's just a great program. And again, if you're interested in that, definitely reach out to your business development manager. Sharon, do you have any other ideas that you think would be great to add to that?
I think the only one thing that I would add when you were talking about making certain that you're using your clip notes
Mhm.
as a guide to remind everyone that a product recommendation doesn't go on the printed out copy. It is something that has to be looked at prior to printing out the clip note.
That's
And
correct.
so you just really want to make certain that if you're wanting to tag on to what somebody has already previously recommended, not sold, but recommended, take a look at that before you print out your notes.
Absolutely. So, some of the most common objections that we hear all the time out in salons is that it's too expensive. And honestly, I say expensive compared to what? Groceries are expensive, gas is expensive, buying coffee every day is expensive. And really, I want our stylists to stop managing our customers' paycheck. Quit managing your customers' money. It's not our job to do that, it's your customer's job to do that. It's our job to provide a recommendation that's suitable for the person who's sitting in that chair. And that's how we deliver great. When you see it, say it, and solve it, whether the customer says yes or no, you're still doing that. And in this business, you're going to get a lot of no's. So, like Sharon says, celebrate the no's, count the no's. The more no's you get, the more you're practicing, the more confident you'll get. And that's the thing. When I started doing recommendations, when I started working behind the chair, they called me the goose egg girl. I couldn't recommend product to save my life. But with practice and a lot of no's, I gained confidence because I was practicing the thing that I wasn't good at. And when you practice things, you get better. It's not about perfection, it's about the progress that you make over time. And so, with those new stylists, stylists are visual, stylists are hands on learners. The more you practice with them, set up a PlayStation at a back station in your salon that's not being used. Put some product, put a mannequin on a stand out there get some PK sheets, and during your downtime, turn it into development time. Develop your stylist instead of them sitting on their phones or chatting about this or that or the other. Engage them in the learning process. Get their hands in there. Pull out this product. Have them blow dry a section with their hands. Get them doing those directional blow dries. Use the product wet. Use it dry. Use it right. Use it wrong. Learn what works, what doesn't work, what mixes well together, and what doesn't. You will be amazed at that little interaction can make a massive difference in their confidence in what the product is, what the product does, how to use it, and how to speak to it to the customer behind the chair every single day. So I also want to, sometimes our stylists think that we're pushy. When we recommend product, I'm not a salesperson, I'm not pushy. This isn't being pushy. This is service. We owe it to our customers to provide them with solutions. Do you go to the doctor and expect to walk out with no prescription? No. You go to the doctor because you expect him to solve things for you. And our customers do have an expectation that we help them solve their hair issues. And you can do that through the see it, say it, and solve it. Again, let's go through it again. You're going to see what's going on with the hair. You're going to say it to the customer. Have you noticed dryness? Have you noticed breakage? Have you noticed any shedding? Have you noticed any flaking on the scalp? Have you noticed any irritation? Have you noticed frizz, static, flyaways? Any of those things that you're seeing going on, take the opportunity to say, have you noticed? Because your customer has noticed and they're waiting for you to bring it up. They're waiting for you to provide that solve and walk them through what would be best for them. And then that solve is all about connecting your customers' hair type, trait, density, condition to their lifestyle and the desired look that they are trying to achieve. This is definitely your secret weapon behind the chair. So if you start tomorrow, you will start to see a change in your retail game for sure. It's one of those things that you've got to actively practice behind the chair in order to see results. You ever heard the definition of insanity? It's doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. So do something different. Do something that's going to change up your retail game. Start seeing it, saying it, and solving it. And when you see that change in your retail game, guess what? You're going to see a change in your paycheck too. And that right there is the hugest reward ever. Knowing that you are making a difference, but it's also creating an impact for your paycheck as well. So if this has been helpful for you, we want to remind you to make sure you're following us here on YouTube. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, I think it's important that we share with you that we put out videos all the time for your benefit, for your stylist benefit. You can share a video every single week with your stylist to keep them connected to product and keep it top of mind and engage them with what's new and different and what's trending in the industry. And that keeps our stylists fed. Stylists are hungry for knowledge, and we want to keep them fed with that knowledge so that we can keep them and retain them long term in our business. And then we want you to know that we're just getting started. Everything that we do here is, again, for the Great Clip Stylist. And we want you to get out there and literally engage with your customers. Step 3 of delivering great is engage. So we want you to engage in conversation with them. Talk to them about their hair, talk to them about what's going on and how you can help them. And that's how we really deliver great every single day. So we want you to get out there, solve some problems, and really have a great time behind the chair connecting with your customers. Sharon, do we have any other questions in the chat?
Nope, no more questions. They're just very grateful.
Well, thank you so much. We appreciate you. Thank you for joining us today. And if there is anything you need, please reach out to your business development manager.